We have a lot of problems in our world out there. Drugs, environmental problems, poverty. We have growing disparity in wealth between different segments of the population. Now, all those issues can relate in one way or another back to family issues. They impact families, and families in the long run impact the way we handle and solve the larger issues.
We're both professors at Texas Tech University. We are married.
I'm a philosopher at heart. She's a practical applied therapist, and so we have those differences.
I see the family as the starting place for how we learn about the world and how we learn to make sense of the world and to be in the world. Kids need to grow up feeling loved. They need to feel a sense of security, a sense of being loved and being valued for who they are.
Being approved by one's parents is probably the paramount important thing for a young child. It's important that mom and dad manifest affection to each other, try to keep the conflict to the lowest level possible, because conflict between parents really disturbs most children. And if all works well, they will slowly grow up to know they are loved and they are in a loving household.
It's much more difficult for people who have not experienced love in the family, I think, to learn how to love later. People can, people do, but it's a real advantage to grow up loved in a family with a sense of security, not perfection, but love and security, because then that teaches me from early days that it is possible to feel safe psychologically, and that, okay, well, I'm secure, so I can then extend my hand to someone else.
And children who are not loved have a hard time feeling that like they count for anything.
That's right. We've been studying respect for about the last 5 years, and it's been a wonderfully eye-opening new area to look at, because respect is something like the weather. Everybody talks about it, but very few people have done any research on it. And I'm very moved by how, and impressed with how powerful respect toward a partner, toward a child.
There are some indications that young people, when they first get married, get together, they have enormous respect for each other. And as a result of childbearing and the grubbiness of everyday life and letting the beard grow and all that, people become the biological slobs they actually are. And the couple tends to kind of vaguely lose a little respect over the years. And the bickering starts and the fighting starts. And within some number of years, they're either divorced, or that's why I think we have the 50% divorce rate in the society, in part because people lose their respect for each other in the marriage. And if parents don't respect each other, how do you expect the children to respect the parents?
As children experience respect in the family and feel respected by their parents, which doesn't mean they always get their own way, but they do feel heard and respected, that they then convey that and carry that with them into the outside world. There needs to be a sense of grace toward other people, that people are going to make mistakes, I'm going to make mistakes, and that's part of being a human, and that we can then start over. The other alternative, to not give kids these tools, is not acceptable. There is no one way. Each family culture does it somewhat differently, but that culture needs to have connection and a sense of valuing of the other people. But that basic sense that there's always a safety net of the family. It's a wonderful gift that parents can give children, and you can't buy it in any store.
The biologists say that humans are group animals, and we are. Humans organize. Wherever there's two people, they organize. Groups organize, they're called communities. Larger groups become cities and so on. So we're structured and layered and in ways that no human can grasp the complexity of it all.
We are all interconnected, and so if we can make that case that everybody's got a share in this, I think that's a step.
Sending a well-loved child who knows how to respect parents and others out into that big world is the main step toward forming the good, healthy society.
Wow.